So today I am sitting with Oretta. She is one of our Profitable Traders Academy members, and she has been crushing it. She has improved so much with her trading, with her charting, and now she has multiple funded accounts. So we're going to get into that in a moment. But I wanted to hand it over to Oretta and basically just ask you, who are you and what do you currently trade?
My name is Oretta. On some discourse, people will call me Koki. So I trade right now. I've narrowed my trading down to using the Dow. So I do MYM for the micro in futures. I do also trade options, but not on a regular basis now because I'm trying to focus more on learning futures. And I did trade a few other tickers, the MES, the M2K, MGC. But after, I have to say this, after joining Profitable Traders, I realized I was all over. And so I decided, based on content that I was listening to, it's best if I just focus on one and get comfortable with that. And then I could branch out. Same strategy, but I can branch out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm glad that you say that because I try to emphasize that in most of my communications, just, no matter if it's with you all or if it's on YouTube or wherever. Just because that was something that was changing or a huge change for me when I was learning how to trade. So, Aretta, before joining Profitable Traders Academy, what was trading looking like for you?
I was just really scattered, just kind of trying this strategy, trying that strategy. And I tried them, and for some reason, they just didn't work for me. Did I let them play out long enough? I felt I did, but I couldn't see myself being profitable. And so trying different things, and then after joining again, I kept one of the strategies that I liked, and then I followed through because this was one thing that I've heard about the support and resistance, but never really played it out, understood how to approach it with my trading. So I had the opportunity, and to I just happened to see Profitable Trading Academy, and I was like, I need somebody. I need someone to hold me accountable. Yes, I have a trading partner. She trades, but we can't really hold each other accountable the way I want to be held accountable. You know, so by having someone, I feel a mentor or a coach, I can always reach out, look at this. I'm not sure about this. What am I doing wrong? Why is this like this? And someone that I could just call and say, oh, show me what I'm doing right.
But basically, yes. So to your point, that is one of the most underrated things in trading. Like people just think like, oh, I can look at some YouTube videos. Like I got it. I can figure it out. And yeah, you can totally figure out the basics for sure. But when it comes to having a strategy that, that is dependable and that you can rely on and that you have some level of confidence in and you can bounce ideas off of someone, I think that's super important. When it came to you well, before you joined the Profitable Traders Academy, what was some of the things in trading that were the most frustrating for you?
Understanding, setting up my risk to rewards, stop losses, and really just sticking to a plan. I did create a trading plan, and I know it's a living document because I would go back and make some modifications. But I felt I was all over the place. I've done moving averages, I've done different things, and I also went as far as using signals to help me. And sure, you can try the signals, but if you still don't understand market structure, which I think was the core that I was missing, using the signals still didn't give me what I needed because I might have entered at the incorrect time, right? My entry was before. So I think you remember me saying my entry. That was core. So market structure, that's a big thing. So that was very frustrating. So I must say that lots of indicators. Oh my gosh, indicators, Satoshi is like this. And I could say now my charts are cleaner. I've just been removing indicators one at a time because now I know I don't need this because I know how to do this and so forth. So they're narrowing down and narrowing down. And I feel real good because I feel I can fish for myself and not really be 90% dependent on signals or algos, you know? So I don't have to be. I can actually look at the market. I'm like right here now and I can see what the candles are doing and understanding market structure much better. So that was very frustrating.
Yeah, wow, yeah, I totally get you. I have some screenshots somewhere buried on my computer where I have all these different indicators in the beginning when I was learning as well, because I thought, wow, these are going to help. But they were basically telling me different things, and it wasn't making me confident in learning how to trade. When you were at this stage of using all these indicators, trying to use and signals and stuff like that, what were your trades looking like? Were you winning or no?
Not didn't have good risk to reward. Did not, and I couldn't. I didn't even journal consistently, so I couldn't really tell what percentage. But I knew I wasn't. My curve was not going up. My must it was just up and down, and it's very frustrating because you invest in yourself and you look at the classes and so forth and you go through them. But having that person to come back and say, look, I'm not getting this. Can you just tell me where I'm wrong? That
Mhm.
for me was missing. And so having someone to just call on and then it's just so much of a help. It's just so much of a help. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's good that you reached out. And I remember when we had our conversation the first time, you said, I found you on YouTube this past weekend. And like, I watched a lot of your videos. And then you signed up for a call to talk with
See,
me.
I mean, the first time let's see. I was like, okay, she seems like she's gonna help me. I'm just doing this. I'm just gonna crush. I'm just gonna do this. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that, like, it was a relatively short time period, like, less than the week. Like, you saw a video, watched some videos, and then here we are.
Absolutely.
Wow, wow. So, with that amount of time, for some people it could be a little bit scary, like signing up for something and not really knowing what to expect. So, before you even got on the phone with me, was there some things that, made you hesitate in terms of joining the Profitable Traders Academy? I'm just curious, what were you worried about at the time?
Well, okay, am I investing in something now that I'm not gonna get a return on my investment? But I think what sealed it for me was the fact that you said you're always available. We can go through the platform that you have, which is school. And at the same time, you said you would give a plan. And so you gave a plan and it's a year plan. So it's 30 days and then 60 days. And so I had a guide to go over and you open it up so that when we have our meetings that I can bring up anything. I can ask anything. I can go back to the plan or if I have something personal about a way I was approaching something, I could bring that to you and you would just go through it with me and give me pointers and not homework, but you'll say, check this out or follow up with, and I could do that. I think for me, the way I learn classroom setting, yes, and we no longer have that. And yes,
Yeah.
working with the videos, great. I can still do that, but I can pick up the phone. Well, really, we reach out to you a different way, but it's like picking up the phone and say, look, I'm struggling with this, and you're there. So I got to say that she's there.
Yeah, and I think that's a big, point that I think people miss with all the, different marketing and things that I do for the Profitable Traders Academy. People just think, "Oh, it's a course. I'm just gonna watch some videos and that's gonna be it." But that hasn't been your experience at all, right?
No, because the meetup with you is consistent. I mean, it's a regular thing. It's not I'm gonna cancel this week or you'll cancel the file. No, we're there. If it's not on when during the week, we also have a weekend, which based
Yep.
on anyone's work schedule, you could fit something in, you know?
Yep.
So yeah. So I really
Yeah.
appreciated that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked a little bit about some of the things that convinced you that, hey, let me go ahead and take this leap and get the help that I know that I need for trading. What were some other things that made you say yes to yourself in terms of getting the mentorship?
Because you listened to what my issues were and you said, "I can help with that." And, you pointed me into a direction where I started looking at things. I even got a little bit more exposed into forex, even though I didn't have everything with the futures, just understanding market structure itself lend its ears to forex. So I dabble with that, but I feel so much more comfortable just reading the market and going through the strategy or the approach that you shared with us. But that was it for me. I wasn't, it was not that I was reluctant at all. I just felt that you came across approachable and pretty straightforward. And I know how I am when in my line of work, boom, 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 and boom. And you see it that way. And I just said, that's it. I'm doing it. And I remember when we had our call, I told you, said, I just saw you, but I just decided I'm just going to do this.
So I remember. Yes, absolutely. And actually, like, over time, we realized that we actually have a lot more in common because you just mentioned, like, we're just, like, to the point, get it done. We're like, have our list. Wow, that's awesome. Tell people, since joining, like, how have your results changed in your trading in terms of consistency, profits, now you're funded, like, all that? Tell us about that.
Okay. So again, like I mentioned that I felt I was all over the place. Now it's narrowed down. My charts are clean. I can read, I can see without all the indicators on there. That was the first thing. I didn't feel like I was dependent 100% anymore on a lot of the indicators. So number one, so I can see the forest for the trees now. I can really and things that I've gone through some classes, quite a few, but little things such as if I'm drawing my support and resistant line, I need to look at my bear candle first and I can tell where I'm supposed to position my line. Before I was just drawing lines. And so that has helped. I can see what to look for to enter because I was just, okay, that candle kind of looks like it's going to do something. And then I would enter. Now I know there's specific candles I need to look for. And not that I have to learn all the different candle patterns, but the main one was the engulfing candle, and I was like,
Yep.
"Seriously?" So that has helped tremendously. As far as profitability, yeah, it's there. I've made money. I've been funded for a futures prop firm account, quite a few. And so that was one thing too. When I was doing that, I remember asking when I'm doing an evaluation, should I trade hastily or should I just still follow the same rules to trade? And you said you should follow the same rules. And
Yep.
then I did beef up on the amount of contracts, but I knew now to look for something specific, what to look for before I
Yep.
entered. So entry cleared that up. Where and how to draw my levels, that in itself is a lot. That means so yes, it has helped. The main thing that I still have to work on, and I'm being honest with anyone who's listening, it's the mind.
Yeah.
Mind. The coach can tell you she can teach us this, she can teach us that, but she can't teach the mind part. So we have to really, really, it's a mind thing. And
Yep.
but once the mind is okay, you don't hastily jump in, you don't hastily jump out, you don't cut short, and you're not greed. I said, "Oh, I'm not greedy. I grew up all my life. I'm not greedy, and this market can make a lot from you, so you can see yourself." And so
Absolutely.
yeah. So that's what has helped me just looking. That's how I feel so much more confident. I don't sit at the computer all day like I would before. And I'm on Central Time and I finish at about 10. I set my alerts if I want to go back in, or I set an alerts if I didn't see anything. And sometimes I'm sleeping, but but next day and I can go back, okay, it did hit or no, it didn't hit. Those little things, you can't get them from just watching the video. You have to have someone to talk to for me, I had to have someone to talk to. This is what you should look for. Maybe you should consider this. And it's been working for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, you hit so many different nuggets there. And no, I'm just saying because these are like things that I know I was thinking about when I was a new trader. And, I invested in myself and I wholeheartedly believe in like getting some sort of feedback. And to your point about the mind, like that's going to be an ongoing thing because I've talked to people that have been trading for over a decade and they still, have challenges and things that pop up. Not, a lot like, not as much as, someone who's maybe like a couple years in, but it's still going to be there. But, now, you have some tools in order to, because I do have some things in the classroom and school, and I have a short list of things that extra things I'm going to add here soon. So look out for that. But basically, like you said it, just having somebody to talk to and then having someone to bounce ideas off of and getting that feedback that's going to help you inside of the markets and trading in a way where it doesn't consume your life. But basically, you have this time that you can trade and you can still make profitable trades. You're now funded with multiple funded companies. Like, how much are you funded now currently?
Probably the 250,000.
Okay, amazing. That's a nice chunk of change to be funded for sure.
Well, it's a 50K accounts, yeah. And so I don't have any evals right now. I do try to keep a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now it's not a race. It's a journey. So I don't rush to make a lot or set a profit target per se. Like I must have $500 a day or so forth. I don't really set it that high. So I do. But I think there's about 21 days in trading for futures. So I $100 per account, and I don't copy trade. $100 per account. That's a good change.
Yes, to say, yeah, because you have multiple accounts. So yeah.
Yeah. Just to add to with I guess the dollar amount with futures and forex is different. So I had to learn about the pips and and well, that's still coming, but I don't have to rush because what you did is you said these are some of the markets for people who are beginning, like AUD, and that moves a little bit slower. So you can learn still slower, and I don't have to rush to close out before 5 o'clock because it'll come back, but I can pick up right where I left off as opposed to
Yep.
future. So the different things, but just the thought that I now know, and I'm thinking, you've been trading futures for a year. I've been
Hmm.
trading for a total of 3 years, and I was beating myself up saying, you really should be really making the money. No, it's not just like that. If you don't have the foundation, and really someone to correct your errors or that you can ask and point things out for you, you'll just be swimming. And so that has helped me. I'm sorry, but I was that has helped me. I don't feel the same. I just take my time now. So, or when I get to actually a payout, I would know that I've worked my way up to that because yes, I now feel better and more confident of what I'm doing. Bear and bulls, draw my line. Okay, this one goes on top. This one goes at the bottom. So,
Yep.
by the way, see reviews, your charts. Yeah, she tells you if this is right, this isn't, but this you might want to consider. Yeah, she reviews your chart. Yes, you do.
Yeah, and that's huge for, someone like yourself, where you talked about how you struggled with the charts and you were just drawing lines, in different places. Now you know exactly why. And I've been viewing your charts for months now, and I have very little feedback every time. Like I'm like, these are looking better and better. And you ask, great questions, and you're looking for that feedback to improve, and you're doing it. I mean, it's showing up because I mean, you wouldn't be, funded, with these different companies and get payouts and all that, if you weren't, taking the guidance that I provided inside of the Profitable Traders Academy to even get that. So I love that. So just to kind of like segue a little bit, what for you, what has been the best part trading since joining the Profitable Traders Academy?
The best part, truly understanding market structure. For me, market structure, and now I don't struggle that much now with entries. I'm just understanding now. I just follow it. I just from level to level, retest, and so forth. When I depended on signals or bots, they were doing everything. I'm looking for those that were automated. I'm looking and it would just do something for me. But those that were just signals, and I would just get in because I got the signal, not understanding the signal is there because something's coming based on how it's programmed. But I now know I don't just jump in. I mean, you have to make sure you have confluence. Things are lined up. Things are actually aligned because things changed in a second with the market. You think everything is going bearish. It's going bearish, and then all of a sudden it flips and you're going in the opposite direction. So not the haste, but just to wait. So for me, to answer your question, market structure, the core. That covers everything to me, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
People understand if you can't get to the grasp of market structure, just yeah, I think then it falls apart. You have to have that. All the rest will sit on top of that. But that's to me like foundation. That's how I see it.
I totally agree with that. And a lot of times when people learn about trading, they just want to jump to the money. And it's like,
I don't remember ever really going through market structure like that, you know? Well, yes, and your videos, it told you exactly what to look for, and yeah, so
yeah, yeah, people are just like, well, let me just make some money. It's like, no, you need that foundation, like you talked about, because everything is built on that foundation of understanding market structure. It gives you more confidence in your entries. It gives you more confidence about your level. And having that foundation will lead to eventually profits with consistency. So I love that. I love that you said. And, what would you tell someone who is considering investing in themselves to work with me inside of the Profitable Traders Academy?
what would I say? Just think that you have someone holding your hand, just holding your hand. You can ask anything, you ask your questions, basic or even advanced. And I'll say, if she doesn't know, I've not run into this, but I'm sure she's the type that would find, you'd get the information, you'd get back to us. But just knowing that I can just send a message and say, I'm struggling with this, and I get a response within 24 hours, sometimes even
Yep.
quicker than that. And so also taking things at a layman's term, very basic. So if you're not sure, you want to learn, you're struggling, she'll take you back to the base, just take you back to the basic and just bring you up to speed. And that's what has done for me. So like I said, I've been training for that amount of time. This has just gone back. I'm like, oh, so that's what they were talking about. Oh, so this is what they meant. Because now I can say, what is this about? Or explain this. And you're right there to explain it. And that's key. And I have you twice or three times. And some people may only get it once a week or once a month, but you're there every week more than once. That
Yeah.
in itself, you can't ask for more than that. And yeah, you just can't. Someone right there with you, you can't ask for more. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am so happy to see your progress. Like I said, just, from the beginning, looking at your charts, like I remember having a bunch of feedback. Like I remember when it was like a whole thing.
I had buddies, and then I had multiple tickers. Today it was this, and now I look at them because the market's open, and I have my watches, but I always come back to my MYM. I don't know why. It's just that, and then my M2K is coming up, right behind it. So yeah, so understanding it, this is how this one moves. It makes a difference. It makes a difference.
Exactly, and it goes to show you that it doesn't matter what you trade, if it's forex, if it's gold, if it's options, if it's futures, everything, crypto, everything is based on market structure. Like it doesn't matter. Everything is based on market structure and always going back to that market structure and really understanding that as your foundation, as your base, that's going to be the thing that really helps you make the shift from not being profitable to being consistently profitable and being profitable with confidence, not relying on anyone else or anything else in order to get you there. Oretta, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. I am
Thank you.
excited, for the rest of our time inside of the Profitable Traders Academy. Like, I know it's going to be amazing because you have been showing up, like you said, multiple times a week, asking a lot of great questions. And, it's definitely helped other people. I've actually had other people say, hey, I watched this video and this woman asked this question and I had that question too. So, it's good, that we have this community of people sharing and helping each other out. And I'm glad that you're a part of it. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I'm continuing the journey. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Yes.